Here we are, everyone. Another video from Macca's Moto Vids. Today we got a how-to. As you guys may know, the reason why I haven't been making any videos lately is because my front brakes have been a bit sticky. So today what we're going to be doing is replacing all the seals on the front brake. And we also have in this packet new brake pads for the front. So that's what we're going to do today. As always, this is just an example of how to do things. It may be different for your specific vehicle, so I take no responsibility if you do what I'm doing and break something. Alrighty, so our first step is going to be to crack the brake fluid reservoir, which I shall show you. Very basic, very simple. Get your screwdriver in there and undo the screws. Preferably without stripping them out. Take off the inner cap. And pull out the rubber seal. You know the seal's good when it makes that sound. Alright, so now I'm going to take the caliper off. And for this bike, I just find it easier to take it off from the fork mounting bolt, so that takes the bracket with it. To do that, these two bolts undo. Undo them, get them out. And then sort of push the kelp off the rotor like so. Right, so that's the bracket off. These are the seals we're going to be replacing. So we've got slide pin seals, and then we've got piston seals. We're also going to be replacing banjo bolt washers and the bleed valve. So that's what comes in our kit. So now that we've got the bracket and the slide pins assembly off, we've got the pads out, we're going to take out the piston fills. I'm going to remove the actual caliper from the hose. We're going to have to grab a spanner, crack this bolt, crack our banjo bolt. Yeah, we are going to lose some brake fluid here. Get a rag to catch the dribbles. Take that banjo bolt out. Oh look, did you guys see that spider? Nice little spider, keeping our brakes company. Alright, here we are on the bench. First step, obviously, when replacing seals, after you've got the caliper removed, is remove all the old seals. Now, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but try and get some light on it for you. See that deformation of that seal there? The amount of gunk that's around that piston. That's what's giving me grief. Alright, so after a fair amount of difficulty, we have the pistons out. 2 pistons. Okay, there's the outer oil seal. Now, shed a bit of light on what's causing the problem. See all that grit, gunk and grime? It's in that top oil seal groove. So you got the black ring, that's the inner oil seal. Above that there's a groove, that's the outer oil seal groove. All of that crud that's in there, that's what's caused my brakes to stick on. And because the pistons were sticking on, just getting them out was absolute hassle. So that's why I've sort of jumped forward from what you guys last saw. So get these lower oil seals out, these inner oil seals out as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to thoroughly clean these notches out, all the gunk that's in there. Oh wow, there we go. And then start reassembling our caliper. So again, brake cleaner and soft bristle brush, which is over here. Sorry about my sniffling. I've had the flu recently. So I'm just gonna spray liberal amounts of that around. Get the soft bristle brush in there. Alrighty, that's as clean as that's gonna be. it's pretty good now. Get the new seals out. Now, so obviously we've got two different sized pistons, and we have 4 different sized seals. Alright, now you have a look, you've got a thin one and a thick one, right? So your thick one is your inner seal, your thin one is your outer seal. If you're unsure about it, it's always a good idea to take note of how it was when you pulled it apart and then put it back together exactly the same way. It's, you know, that stops you from messing it up really. And put it together the way it came apart, it's always going to be right. Now if you are planning on doing the job over a couple of days and you're worried that your memory is not really that great, take photos. Take photos of how it looks like when you pull it apart. You know, it helps. Even if you're doing it over the space of a day and you think your memory is really that bad, take photos. And it's going to solve your problems and make your life a lot easier when you're trying to put things back together, if you've got reference of how it was when you pulled it apart. And even if that's a bit difficult for you, get a manual, a workshop manual that's specific to the vehicle that you're working on, and it will tell you precisely how it goes together and how to do the job. So I recommend, if you are unsure about anything that you're doing, just buy a manual. Like, they're, what, I think 36 bucks the last time I bought one, and you can actually see one in frame at the moment. It's a aftermarket, manufacturer's manual, but it does the trick, still works. So it tells me what specific things about the vehicles that I'm working on that I may not already know.
If you're doing this, right, don't rub that way. Because you rub that way, you might make a groove for brake fluid to come out. So rub along that line, you're less likely to rub a groove in that brake fluid can come out. Alrighty, now get this, slide that in there, jiggle it in. Alright, so there is our resealed, reconstructed caliper. Let's go put it on the bike. Alright, now we put together the caliper and the bike. I'm going to start with placing these banjo bolt O-rings. Put them on there. Through there. That on there. And offer up the caliper. Now mine's got a groove to locate the end of it so that it is in the good and proper position. So get that in place. Do up the banjo bolt. Cinch that down nice and tight, but not too tight. And then let's put it all back together. So alright, so now that the caliper is back on, we're going to bleed the system. So basically that means we get the bleed valve and the brake lever working together. So pull the brake, crack the bleed valve, close the bleed valve, let go of the brake, pull the brake, crack the bleed valve, close the bleed valve, let go of the brake, pull the brake, crack the bleed valve, close the bleed valve, let go of the brake. We're going to do that so that we get the get all the fluid, all the air out of the brake system. Alright, now that's done, we'll close the reservoir up and the bike's ready to run. Alrighty, so now I guess I've got to go for a ride and make some more videos, don't I? Alright, good people. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and as I said before, if you're unsure about doing any work on your vehicles, get a qualified, competent individual to do the work for you. These videos that I make are simply for entertainment purposes, and you see in the bottom of, in the description of them, this is the disclaimer, so don't come to me if you hurt yourself. Any works that you do on your vehicles is at your own risk, and I take no responsibility for what you do. That's all on you. So yeah, as I always say, ride safe, drive safe, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next video, eh? See you later.